Three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of Backward Point, a cricket podcast centering around Pakistan cricket, but also covering just world cricket in general. I am your co-host, Bashar, and with me is my brother and co-host.
Nazir Sayed. The Zalmi himself.
I'm sorry?
The Zalmi himself.
The Zalmi himself. Straight from Peshawar. This is going to be more of a PSL review so far. We're sort of at the end of the first leg of the PSL, almost at the halfway point. So we're going to discuss some notable performances, what our team's doing, what teams need to improve, how Karachi can keep losing so they can finish at the bottom of the table, which they're currently at. So we're sort of at the halfway stage. What have you thought about the PSL? Any notable performances? Any surprises from you? What's up?
Good to be back on the pod. First and foremost, always a pleasure to sit across from you and hear your really, really horrid takes. Some of them are good. Some of them are questionable at most. The PSL has been good. I've been following it quite regularly now. This is a league that I don't really have much faith in because I feel like these games really don't have stakes. The PSL at the end of the day doesn't really mean anything. League cricket, I'm an anti-league cricket type of guy. So this is like a very new experience for me to actually actively follow game by game. Now, I feel like, remember when Martin Scorsese said that the Avengers movies aren't cinema?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about PSL or the leagues. I feel like they're not a direct representation of cricket. So it's just, for me, it's like a theme park ride. It's like Azam Khan can wake up, hit 97 off 45, hit 90 runs off the last 30 overs. Like, that's okay. You know
so
what?
You're trying to say these matches, these innings, these performances have no significance?
They have no
significance
to you. To me, this is all based on me. They have no significance to me because they don't really translate into, okay, yeah, so Babar Azam has 25 PSL 50s or something like that, 27 PSL 50s. Okay, good. His century at Birmingham against New Zealand will always top any single PSL innings he ever has, right? From that standpoint, it's been good, man. It's been a ride.
I want to highly disagree with what you're saying.
Okay.
So the PSL is actually, it's one of the biggest brands in Pakistan.
Not denying that.
And I would even argue that all of the superstar players we've got in the last 5 to 6 years have been through the pipeline of PSL. Shadab Khan, Hassan Ali, Shajil Khan came back into the team through the PSL. Mohammad Amir came back into the team through the PSL. We've recently seen Azam Khan, Sohaib Maqsood. All of these players perform in the PSL, make their way into the team. Mohammad Hasnain, he balled a few balls at 150 and he was in the World Cup squad. So I feel like PSL is it's a free chance for players to sort of perform, make your name at the global stage, and even make a case for yourself to come in the Pakistan cricket team.
What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? Like, when did we come to the point where domestic cricket, department cricket, history, decades of cricket that literally pulled out players like Imran Khan, that pulled out players like Ramiz Raja, pulled out players like Saeed Anwar, we are now relying on a capitalistic cash grab?
If I'm being honest with you, we're actually relying on Lahore Qalandar's PDB program.
That's true.
We are relying
That's
on
the only thing.
Aqib Javed to find the next Haris Rauf off the streets of Pakistan.
I don't mind Aqib Javed trying to find the next Haris Rauf. I just don't want him to do any more press conferences. This guy is a monstrosity in front of the mic.
So do you see where I'm coming from?
I see what you're coming from. There's eyeballs on this thing. But you know what? Avengers made $2 billion. Nobody's winning an Oscar from that movie. Like, people who have won Oscars go to an Avengers movie to get a cash grab, like Anthony Hopkins. But it's not gonna create Oscar winners. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You're gonna get a Martin Guptill who's on the tail end of his career, score a magnificent century a couple of days ago, but it doesn't really mean anything. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I want to disagree again because
go ahead. This is starting off.
2017 PSL, we discovered Hassan Ali. 2017 Champions Trophy, Hassan Ali was the best player of the tournament, an integral part of Pakistan winning the Champions Trophy. So if it wasn't for the PSL, we would never have even identified Hassan Ali as a potential talent.
You're saying that if the PSL did not exist, Hassan Ali would be...
He might have not gotten the same opportunities of getting into the team or getting the highlights as he needed. And the same with Shaheen Khan.
So it's basically like a get famous, get noticed quick scheme.
Basically.
Okay, then. I mean, it's just a big advertisement for the bowlers we have. Then that's fine for me. But at the end of the day, are you going to sit there, a man who just watched 3 hours of England versus New Zealand cricket, test cricket, sit there, honestly say to me, that's real cricket that we're watching there? That's substantial cricket. That's cricket that we're going to be remembering for years to come.
Well, I that's arguable because
there we go.
The current England setup is all based off of classical T20 players. Ben Tuckett, Harry Brook. These guys have all been T20 globetrotters. So they're now in the England setup. They're playing a very different brand of cricket. So
they're revolutionizing.
I don't think it's comparable.
They're revolutionizing Test cricket, sure. But at the same time, are you going to tell me the quality of cricket that you're watching on Friday nights where, again, Azam Khan is scoring 97, like 90 runs in the last 3 overs, Islamabad United versus Quetta. You're telling me that's the brand of cricket that you would love to watch forever?
Okay, you obviously can't compare
why not
Test cricket to a T20 league. Obviously, you can't.
What's better?
Well,
what's better?
Different formats.
I'm just saying.
There are different formats. There's obviously 11 of the best players playing of a country versus maybe 5 good players and then 2 or 3 foreign players. So
I feel
you can't compare the two at all.
I mean, we can go on for this for like the next 30 minutes. I don't want to keep.
What do you have against the PSL, man?
I don't have like anything.
Especially what do you have against Azam Khan?
I told you. It's
let's address the elephant in the room. No pun intended.
This is cancelable, bro. No, I don't have anything against Azam Khan. I have a thing against what's the word? Nepotism. I have a thing against that. I mean, if you can prove to me that this person is like literally the next best thing, like how Imam was, okay. Imam is his position in the squad initially was questionable, but this man came in and he dominated.
Same thing with Azam. Azam came in the Quetta team and his selection was questionable because he had no domestic cricket, nothing to back him up. But once he came in, now he has one of the highest strike rates against spin in the last 3 years, statistically.
How does he?
There's a reason why the CPL teams are picking him up. There's a reason why the BPL teams and the Sri Lankan Premier League teams are picking him up. He has stats and performances to back himself up.
I'm just gonna sit here and say I'd be very surprised if he ever plays national for a long time. I'd be extremely surprised. He doesn't have. I don't see him playing I don't see his plays in the team the next 5 years.
Why not?
Who's he replacing? Pray tell.
Can he replace? He's not replacing. He could be an addition to Rizwan.
We already have Haris.
Rizwan can field.
Between Haris and Azam, who's better?
Why can't they both play?
You want to play all the keepers in the team?
Why not?
This is outrageous. All right.
Why not?
This is why I blame the Indian cricket team. They did this with MS Dhoni and Rishabh Pant, right? This is what they did. They had Dhoni play, and then Rishabh Pant, who's also a keeper.
They also had Dinesh Karthik play.
All 3 of them at the same time.
The World Cup semi-final, Dhoni was the keeper. Dinesh Karthik was playing as a fielder, and so was Rishabh Pant.
That's wild. I blame India.
You have to play the best possible 11. It's a big argument whether Azam should make the team or not, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. Azam could be the wicketkeeper. Rizwan and Haris are both agile. They're both very fit players. They can field anywhere in the field. But my question is, Azam Khan's fitness has always been very questionable. And he's always often said that he wants to lose weight, but he's also fearful that he might lose his power along with his weight.
No. Okay, I will stop you right there 1 second.
Let me finish.
Ooh, okay.
For me, it's just the fact that this guy's going to be representing Pakistan, and I can't imagine, let's say, a World Cup match against India, and Azam Khan and Virat Kohli are walking down the steps for the national anthem. I cannot imagine that. And I know in the past we've had players like Inzamam play for a long period of time.
But Inzamam didn't come into the team like that.
Well, he was always kind of chubby.
He was chubby. Okay, the difference between Inzamam being a little bit chubby and then Azam Khan is that there's a difference in like the size.
But if Azam Khan is still agile, if he's hitting 11 sixes in 4 matches,
yeah, man,
most sixes in the PSL, 3rd highest run scorer, an insane strike rate, the shots that he's hitting, the power that he's generating, and if he's taking good catches behind the stumps, like why not? I'm just
I don't know. I
speaking.
think if Azam Khan does not want the criticism of his father and the nepotism slander, he has to come in through the regular circuit. He can't just be picked from.
He is playing.
Play domestic.
He's playing domestic.
I want to see him grinding the next 3 years in domestic.
But isn't the
lose
PSL also
30 pounds.
a way to select players? And
No, but that's what I'm saying. So this is my argument since the start. PSL is just a microscope. It's basically an advertisement for, these are the players that we have. But there are way more deserving players to be in the squad than Azam Khan. If Azam Khan wants to prove his grit, he has to go through the domestic circuit. I want to see him grinding. I want to see him play all the department leagues. I want to see him sit there in the sun 5 days, play those Qadi-Azam Trophy games in Karachi.
He's playing them.
I need to see that for a couple of years, man. I need to see those stats. I need to see those numbers. I need to see this being reflected in the daily grind, right? I don't want to see him come and play 3 weeks in the league, score 15 billion runs, 35 sixes in like 5 games or whatever he's doing, and then just expect to be called into the national squad. There's better players in the squad right now sitting on the bench.
Who is a better six
Mohammad
hitter?
Haris.
But he's already in the team.
Zelmi.
Haris,
He's not in the team.
I would argue that Haris hasn't played much cricket either. He's Azam is 24. Haris is 21, I think.
Yeah.
And I would even argue that Azam has probably played more cricket than Haris.
Okay, but Haris is a raw talent, my guy.
Isn't Azam raw talent?
Nah.
Azam has more sixes, more runs than Haris this season. Had a higher strike rate.
I don't know.
So what are you saying here?
Okay, but I'm saying that now this is truly arbitrary. This is just my opinion. If you have your daddy's back on the squad,
he's playing for Islamabad. How does his daddy's back come here?
He was playing for Quetta first. Like, let's not.
But he got traded.
Let's call a spade a spade. How does he get the chance in Quetta? Be honest. My boy Haris is coming from the streets.
So okay,
he's out here playing semifinals. His first game in the World Cup was the semifinal.
So I would even argue that Imam came in the team because his uncle was the selector.
Yeah, but then what happened? He made his place. Azam has played national cricket.
Let's give Azam the same chance.
But he's played national cricket.
He's played 3 games.
What happened?
And he has had 1 innings. He's played a total of maybe 5 balls.
In the first 8 innings that Imam-ul-Haq, or first 10 innings that Imam-ul-Haq played, he had 3 centuries.
So let's give 10 innings to Azam.
You gotta do that. You have to make that kind of an impact.
Let's give 10 innings to Azam and let's see where he goes.
I highly doubt that in this structure that we have created with Babar Azam as King Babar, and everything is flowing down under him. He'll play Usman Qadir before he plays Babar.
That's
Azam.
friendships though.
Whatever.
You're a better leg player than Usman Qadir. That's a different debate, but
no. I like Usman Qadir. I know you have a problem with Usman.
Absolutely hate him. I have something against him. It's personal maybe, but
what's personal? What did he ever do to you?
At least 2 to 3 bad balls in 1 over.
You know what it is? I like him because he reminds me of his dad.
Isn't that nepotism? My man argued for a good 5 minutes of nepotism, and he's like, "I like Usman Qadir because of his dad."
No, but he reminds me of.
I want you to love Azam the same way.
His action is as like it's reminiscent of Abdul
Azam is
Qadir.
also a keeper, like his dad.
Bro, by the time I don't want to say that. It's just the guy needs to lose 30 pounds. Am I crazy for this?
What if he loses his power along with his weight?
What science says that? If he loses his fat, isn't he quicker firstly upon the ball?
But he's going to lose some muscle too.
But he doesn't have to lose muscle. He can gain more muscle. He can be more sleek. Bro, come on, bro. This is the worst argument ever. This guy's going to lose mass.
I'm just quoting what
suddenly going to lose
his
his power. But he's better than that. Azam, you're better than that, my guy. Like, come on the podcast. I really want you. I heard you're a great singer.
He followed John Mayer.
He follows John Mayer. He's got great taste in music, man. Like, I get it. Like, I can see your father's academy from my in-laws. Like, I root for that, right? At the same time, he's got to give me more chops in hitting these sixes, man. Like, okay, I'll give you the sweep on Hasnan at 147. 147 clicks coming at you. This guy takes his foot in, sweeps him to mid wicket.
It's one of the most insane shots I've ever seen.
102
I was
meter
screaming
six.
when he played that shot.
Absolutely insane, right? But at the same time, can I see? Are you willing to, like? I need to see you play more than 20 overs. I need to see you play 50 overs. I need to see you play 4-day test matches. I need to see those stats before I can make a case for Azam Khan to be in the team. Right now, it's all hype. You know that hype does not translate into numbers. Unreally 2006, where is he? Right? What? feel like I made a good point here.
Sure.
Like hype does
I
not
get what you're
translate to
saying.
numbers.
We shouldn't base someone's selection based off of like one or two good
And if you're going
innings.
hype, by the way, I would take Saim Ayub over this cat.
Simon Yu, we talked about this kid the first episode we did.
Yeah, first episode.
of
He
the
he went ballistic.
he was amazing. The first shot he played after who got out? Was Harris got out?
Yeah.
Or Bauer got out?
I think one of those.
The
I
first
think
ball he
Harris got
played, it was a scintillating cover drive, and
Mhm.
then he just played some insane. He has an insane range of shots.
But again, my criticism will remain for him as well. I need to see those numbers translated into real numbers, man. PSL numbers don't mean
but
anything.
PSL is a way to identify talent.
Wahab Riaz is the most number one wicket taker in PSL. Guys, what are we doing? What are we doing?
He's balled good for PSL.
Wahab Riaz. He has 2 spells in his lifetime that are like remarkable. This guy was an average bowler at best, and he's the number one wicket. This is your league. This is your league.
You can even say maybe it's because of sample size. He's played more matches. That's why he's
100
taking,
something. Yeah, for sure.
he's
Like,
taking more
I'm
wickets.
just saying, these leagues don't mean anything at the end of the day. All right. Who won the last CPL? No one knows. I don't even think they know the people who won. It's just a way to make money, to get these people paid. I love that these players are getting paid. People are getting their bags. But these are the same leagues that Mohammad Amir prioritized over national duties. All right. This is what's happening. These are the same leagues that Brian Lara was, I just saw a clip on this actually, crying about or getting emotional about that the West Indies players are choosing these leagues over national duties.
Yeah.
So
Sunil Narine,
we are
also.
losing quality cricket. Like I was just watching a random test match. Literally, like just because of this podcast, I get to watch so much cricket now. Random test match, 2005, I believe. We had Fiddle Edwards against Ponting. Where's the West Indies team anymore? Half these people play freaking leagues all across the world, not playing not doing national duties, and then they come in. There are a joke in the tests. ODIs barely can hang on, and T20s. Okay, some days they win. Some days they'll give you Carlos Brathwaite numbers. Some days they'll be like struggling to qualify. Right? This is the problem with modern cricket. It's all capitalistic.
Yeah, I was just in January. I noticed there were like 4 leagues at least happening at the same
Correct.
time. There was the International League T20 in Dubai. There was the South African League in South Africa. There was the BPL. There was a Big Bash. So 4 leagues going on at the same time. There's so much cricket. There's an influx of cricket. And as a cricket watcher, like I'm not sure where to tune in, where to watch.
Because all
It's
of
so
them,
hard to follow. It's like pointless at a certain
because
time.
there's so much cricket that it means nothing at the end. This cricket means nothing. Like at the end of the day, we're just going to be left with, like, there's an amazing England versus New Zealand test match going on right now, right? Jimmy Anderson at 41, he's giving you numbers that bowlers dream of in their prime. That is quality cricket. You see this guy bowling for 20 minutes straight. He's setting up batsmen. He's bringing 7-8 deliveries in like a couple of overs and just bringing that one out. Like, that's what we're here to watch. That's cricket, my guy. Right? That's going to be quality cricket forever. These bursts of emotions that you have with this guy hitting 90 runs in the last 3 overs.
Azam Khan sweep against Hasnain.
I'll give you that. I don't mind. Like, this is, again, I loved it when Captain America picked up Mjolnir. I'll give
Why
you
are
that.
you bringing the Avengers into this?
Because I'm telling you, this is exactly what it is. I feel like I'm so old now. I feel like Martin Scorsese had a point when he said that, because I feel like the same way about franchise cricket. It's not real cricket.
And yet here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to watch. I love Avengers. Ant-Man was great. I just watched Quantum Mania. It was fine. Like, yeah, it was great to see him score 220 in 20 overs, Islamabad, to score that. But, like, Sarfraz will still have a Champions Trophy captain under his belt, even if he got, like, you know what I'm trying to say here? It doesn't matter at the end of the day.
It does matter because the players you're selecting for the national team are coming through the pipeline of PSL. So
Then it has a lot to say about our selection committee. Then
it is what it is.
I'm just saying. Stark doesn't play any franchise.
Haris Rove is a product of the PSL.
Stark doesn't.
Muhammad Haris is a product of the PSL.
Bro, Inzam was picked from the net session. Okay, so you're
about
telling me
90s.
No, I'm saying that we've
Pre-PSL.
never had structure like that. So okay, fine, I'll give you those numbers. Like, this is how
So
we
you
got.
can't just say the PSL is pointless.
I'm saying there's no stakes. They're great games to watch from now and then. Like the Karachi Kings game where they almost came back. That was fun to watch, man. That was great to watch. But okay, they still lost. Doesn't mean anything. Mohammad Amir is still a douchebag. Imad Wasim is still having a ponytail. Wasim Akram is still kicking chairs. Okay, whatever. What's the point of all this?
You're being nihilistic.
I'm not being nihilistic.
What's the point of anything then?
No. I'm saying there's cricket there's cricket leagues. Is Tendulkar ever won a IPL?
Perhaps.
Nobody cares. How many centuries does he have?
100.
There we go. Where did he score them?
I see what you're saying.
That's it. That's my point, boys. How many wickets does Wasim Akram have in franchise cricket?
Well, he didn't play much.
How many does he have in tests?
4 and 4.
Why do you know that?
We have the perfume.
That's why we know that. Wasim Akram, Wasim Akram, sponsor the podcast, bro. We love 414.
And 502.
Yeah, Jinny Jamshid, get in touch.
I
feel like we drifted. I feel like I sounded like an old man just crying.
You did.
I'm so sorry, guys.
You're so.
I'm so sorry.
Negative.
This is how I feel about it. Especially after watching, because there's great cricket going on around in the world right now. India versus Australia. I love seeing Australia being pummeled to the ground. I love that. They've shattered Australia so much that they're literally sending players back home. It's gotten that bad. And thoughts and prayers to Pat Cummins, obviously, but I'm not. Apart from him, everybody's getting injured and they're sending people back. It's great cricket to watch, man. That's great cricket to watch. Speaking on that note, like every time Australia loses a series or a match outside of their hometown or their home country, I'm like, what? How did we fumble that bag? That's all I think about.
Because we don't know how to make proper pitches and stuff.
There we go. That's what I'm saying. Like this should have been a 2-0 series that we won, but whatever.
You were working last night. I was just watching the Test season 2 and the specific episode where the Australian team comes to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Literally after the first Test match, Nathan Lyon, a man who has played over 100 tests, over 400 wickets, said the Pindi pitch was the worst pitch he has ever played at of all time.
Can you talk about that a little bit? How is a pitch good and how is a pitch bad? Why was it so bad?
Well, there should be dynamics or characteristics of the pitch. It should either be supportive to pacers, it should be supportive to spinners, or it should be a bit of both. There should be some movement off the pitch for seamers. There should be some bounce, some carry. If not that, there should be some turn, some breaking, some rough spots, so spinners can make the most of it. So it should be leaning towards one side or the other. But the pitches in Pindi and even the one in Karachi were absolute roads.
What does that mean?
There was no movement. There was no bounce. There was no carry. You don't get swing in the air in Pakistan. There was barely any reverse swing. Spinners weren't getting anything, maybe up until day 4, day 5, and there were patches and then cracks. So everybody was coming into bat, scoring centuries. So just very negative cricket and very dull cricket. And I guess the curators and the PCB is to blame for that.
How different were these from the pitches that Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe played in like a couple of years ago? Because they also played on similar pitches in Pindi and Karachi. And were they also like that bad? Because we did get results in those games.
Yeah, I think that those results were because of how bad those teams were.
Those teams were okay.
Not because you were incredibly good. But it's a point of concern when like bowlers like Hazelwood and Stark and Lyon and Cummins aren't able to get wickets. That was just frustrating. And it's just, as a viewer as well, like we were just watching the game against England and New Zealand.
Yeah.
You were seeing like movement off the pitch. You're seeing some good shots being played. A real good balance between bat and ball. But in Pakistan, it was just flat decks. Nothing happening.
But it's fun to watch those flat decks in PSL matches, I guess, because then you have
Azam Khan sweeping Pakistani at 140 clicks for 102 meter 6.
There we go. It's because of those pitches.
Yeah. Have you seen? I just want to talk more about PSL.
Yeah, I was gonna say about the first over wicket from Shaheen was great, by the way.
Yes,
good to see that back.
Good to see. He's one thing you notice like a bit more technical, but Shaheen's bowling really like wide of the crease. Mm-hmm. I think if he comes more close to the crease, he could get a bigger angle of swinging it back, and he can get more wickets. But maybe he's like saving his front leg, the one that got injured. But he's looking good. His pace is up, and I think Shaheen. A very underrated fact about him is that he's turned out to be a very good leader. The way he's leading the way he's carrying David Wisa, Sikandar Raza, Haris Rouf, all of these young players, and even the senior ones. It's really a sight to see.
Are you trying to imply something?
I'm sorry?
You're trying to imply something?
You never know. But people have said that fast bowling captains are generally more aggressive, more attacking. And
when was the last time we got a bowling captain? I'm trying to think.
Wasim Akram.
Damn, it's been that long?
Or Waqar Yunus.
It's been 20 years?
Yes. So the only ones that I can think of in our history are Imran Khan, Wasim, Waqar. That's pretty much it. And then right now, we're seeing Pat Cummins as a fast bowling captain. The first one.
Trent Bolt isn't Bolt a captain right now?
No. Tim Southee was a captain.
Tim Southee, my bad. Yeah.
Southee was test captain.
Who's the New Zealand captain right now?
Tim Southee.
Tim Southee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a horrible time, buddy.
Yeah.
You got to get those batters to bat with the bat, not like whatever they're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's horrible to watch. What else do we got?
I want to talk more about this. Have you seen that bowler from Multan, Ihsanullah?
Yeah. Good bowler, man.
My man clocked in. He took the game that he actually got a lot of notice was the game against Quetta. He balled a delivery at 150.7 to get Sarfaraz out. Then he balled a delivery at 152. The next ball to get Chacha Iftihar out.
You don't call him that anymore, apparently.
The man's got pace. The man's tall.
It's quick.
The one thing I would argue is that he is not 20. I'm ready to bet money on this.
Yeah. He looks older than us.
Dude, he's a lot older. He looks like he's been through.
He's been through
Been through something. He's lived a life before the PSL, and no way he's 20. But a really good prospect, someone who has pace. Who, if he fixes his wrist a bit, he gets some swing up front. Pakistan could add him to the bench of our fast bowlers. He could be alongside the likes of Hasnain, Dahani, Hassan Ali.
Hasnain reminds me a lot of Mohammad Sami. Do you see that? It was Sami's birthday, so PCB made a little package, posted it on social media, and I saw prime Sami from like 2001, 2002. The guy was like clocking it at 150s, like just banging it in, man. Him and Shoaib. It was a good sight to see. It reminds me of a lot of Naseem and Hasnain. They both came up at the same time, buddies, quicks, clocking at 145, 150 each. But again, Shoaib was quicker and cleverer because he used to use his head a lot. I was seeing the test match against Pakistan and England the last time England came. I think 2005.
Yeah.
I think he got 3 wickets on slow balls.
Yeah.
Like that. And Naseem has a similar thing where he uses his head. Hasnain is just like, bro, I know one thing and it's banging it in.
Even, you mentioned that game against England in 2005. Shoaib had to nullify the pitch in order to get wickets. So the slower balls he was bowling, none of them bounced. They were all like, just dipping, going onto the wicket directly to the stumps on the pads. And the other wickets he took were like straight in swinging Yorkers. So he had to sort of not use the pitch to get wickets because the pitch wasn't supporting him at all.
Again, it just shows you the class of what Muhammad Asif did against India on a dead Karachi pitch like that when he was bringing it in like that. That's insane. A talent we lost completely, but it's still wild to see what that could have led to if that had stayed, because I still go back and watch those test matches like from now and then because I'm so glad we had that. Afridi in his prime, Asif in his prime, Shoaib in his prime, like just home matches, away matches, 2004, 2005, and then 2006. Those 3 series were just amazing to watch.
It's such a tragedy that Pakistan and India have not played a test match since 2008. So you're thinking like a prime Amir has never bowled to a prime Kohli.
Oh my God.
In test matches. We've never seen that sort of a battle between Pakistan and India in test matches. And it's really sad. It would have been a spectacle to see someone like, a Zahir Khan bowling to Babar.
Oh yeah,
a Bumrah. Just that long battle, that sticking in.
Yeah,
those long spells.
Some of the best moments we've had that have solidified careers have been in Test cricket. Takes me back to 1999 when Shoaib Akhtar got both Dravid and Tendulkar out.
Yeah,
those are important. That made Shoaib Akhtar.
Yeah,
that he starts his
to this day
his memoir with that thing. Like that's how important it was. It seems extremely sad to be robbed of those moments. We'll never get them. Kohli's on his way out. Like the next couple of years, 3 years, he's going to be out. Amir is already out. Shaheen is in his prime for sure. I would love to see that. Babar's in his prime, but like it's just a whole generation gone to waste. Like when we came up, we never had the opportunity to see these guys play IRL.
Yeah.
And like we're in our mid-20s now. I don't know when this whole political situation is gonna resolve itself, but it's gone so bad now that we're considering pulling out of World Cups and Asia Cups because of political things, and it's just crazy, man. It's just insane. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, our cousin was at the India versus Pakistan match at Melbourne,
Mhm.
and he said there were 90,000 people at the MCG for the World Cup match, and not one incident of things going wrong or fights or
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about nobody cares about the politics. They just want to watch good cricket. They want to see Shaheen versus Kohli. They want to see Bumrah versus Babar. Like that's what people are paying to watch. They don't really care more about this politics because the politics can politic all it wants. It's just the cricket is suffering.
on other moments of suffering, the Karachi team has lost 4 out of their five games, and they're looking at a very tough situation to qualify for the playoffs.
I'd be surprised if they do.
I understand that a lot of their recent losses have been very marginal, like 3 runs, 6 runs, just not being able to finish the games as they may have wanted. And also, I think Mohammad Amir is injured as well. So
He's out?
I think I heard he was injured, and then he didn't play the last game. So, because the funny thing that happened was that Shahid Afridi called Mohammad Amir,
I heard about this.
and he said to calm down after wicket celebrations. You're getting over the line a bit, overreacting to these wickets. And funnily enough, the next game, Mohammad Amir took a wicket of the emerging player for Islamabad and gave him a really nice, very, very
Verbal send off.
And the next game against Lahore, I think he took the wicket of was it Fakhr, and then he did something that you can't even play on TV. I think properly. Pemra could give a notice to Mohammad Amir. So not sure exactly where he's going with the celebration, what he's trying to prove. Because sometimes when you're over trying, you miss the exact. The goal of what you're trying to do is to take wickets, because if you're overstriding, if you're over trying, you're missing your lengths, you're not bowling as properly as where you want, you can overpitch, and that's exactly what we saw when Amir was bowling to Babar. He was trying to swing the ball back in, pitch it up. It was a bit overpitched. Babar's so good that he just cover drived him for a 4.
I love that moment.
So yeah, lots to think about for Karachi, because if you look at it, they've lost the last, you can say, so 11 plus 5 is 16. They've lost the last 15 matches
Out
or
of
14 matches out of 16.
That's insane.
And initially they were blaming Babar's captaincy and his performance for the loss.
I heard a journalist try to pry that out of Babar.
And Karachi traded Babar to buy Shoaib Malik in the diamond category, and they bought Haider Ali in the platinum category. Haider Ali does not fit in any category, let alone platinum.
What happened to that guy, man?
Haider Ali was supposed to be the next big thing in Pakistan cricket, and then he just shot himself in the leg. Like, he just seems like somebody who played a lot of table crickets, and he's not able to like transition to hardball. So he has that one shot that he loves, which is clearing the left leg, slogging it, heaving it to the mid wicket side, and that's how he got out against India in the World Cup. You cannot play those shots at this level against these bowlers who have seen videos of you, who have seen your dismissals in the past. They will know exactly where to bowl to you and get the same results as previous bowlers have gotten. So Haider Ali, a real tragedy also of Pakistan cricket. I hope he goes back to domestic, scores runs, and I hope we haven't seen the last of him, because there's another bench of Pakistan batsmen that are coming through in the likes of Mohammad Harris and the likes of Saim Ayub,
Abdullah Shafiq,
Mohammad Herrera, Rohit Nazir, Abdullah Shafiq. So if he doesn't make a quick comeback, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, with the World Cup around the corner, these decisions have to be made. A lot of these players are looking to play that World Cup. For sure, yeah. What else is on the agenda?
Quetta is also at the bottom of the list.
Quetta is on the bottom of the list, but because of their own. There's nothing, no karma on that part. It's just Quetta being Quetta.
And also, if you have Omar on your team, like, how are you expecting to win?
He's playing in the 11?
He was in the 11 initially, and then he flopped like 3 games. They dropped him.
Yeah, rightfully so. Like, I feel like this is the last PSL that Sarfraz is going to be captaining. I think it's time to move on. I don't think Sarfraz is getting older too, 36, 37, I think, right? He's inching those twilight years, and it's time to pass the mantle. Like it's, I said the same about Karachi. I'm shocked that they're getting Maddie the captaincy. He doesn't A, deserve it, and B, should be captain. He should have given it to somebody else that has a chance of actually leading a team in the future. I love what Islamabad did, giving Shadab the captaincy. That was great. Lahore with Shaheen.
Islamabad,
Yeah.
my new team.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that?
Great. We've won 3 of the 4 games, and I just love the brand of cricket that they play. Attacking cricket. They want to make use of each phase of the game. They have players to maximize each phase of the game. So to watch Islamabad play, regardless of how many wickets they've lost, they still go with the attacking approach. And that's the reason why they made a comeback in today's game. They were like 50 for 3 in 8 overs, and then they went on to score 220 in 20 overs. So I love their team. I love their management. Shadab as a captain. And just the whole team environment itself, it seems like people are having fun and enjoying their games.
With the first leg now like over, where do you think the last 4 teams are going to stand? Who are we looking at?
I'm gonna stand by at least 3 of my teams that I said. So I said Multan, Islamabad, Lahore, and then Peshawar. Oh, I didn't say Peshawar. I said Quetta. So
Yeah.
Quetta at the bottom right now. But it could be, I think Multan, Islamabad, Lahore for sure, and then one team between Peshawar, Karachi, and Quetta.
Who do you think is going to win it all?
I think Multan might win.
Yeah.
They just seem to have a complete team. Like they have a good bowling attack. They have good openers. They have a strong middle to lower order. They have informed batsmen. I think Multan might take it again.
Crazy. I want to see a Multan Lahore final.
I want to see a Multan Islamabad final. That would be really sick.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we should wrap it up at this point. Is there anything else you want to talk about for this week's cricket PSL vibe?
No, I think that's everything we wanted to cover.
I feel like I complain too much in this podcast. What do you think?
It's fine. It's our podcast. We can have discussions, and
That's true.
you can try to convince me. I can try to convince you.
Yeah, so I take that back. I'm not
I
apologizing.
think
for
that's the
anything.
beauty of this podcast. Like we doesn't have to necessarily be that we have to agree and be on the
Mhm.
same page for everything. So we can agree to disagree here.
Totally. I totally will agree to disagree. Leave a comment, guys, if you guys are on my side on the PSL franchise cricket debate, or if you're on Bashar's side. Both sides are right, I guess, because franchise cricket isn't going anywhere. I can be bitter about it as long as I want. It's going to be here. Doesn't mean that it's the best form of cricket. That's just my opinion. Final thoughts before we leave.
PSL Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad.
All right, guys. Take it
Long
easy.
live Test cricket.
Long live Test cricket. Take it easy. Stay safe. Leave a like, comment below. If you guys are listening to this on the audio streams, please remember to like and subscribe on the specific audio streams you're listening to.
Leave a rating.
Leave a rating, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or even Spotify podcasts if that's where you're listening at. Actually, really helps us. With that, take care of you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.